Daf Hey.
We are on 18.
Mm-hmm.
So Toshma. Porish Rishasas Mechatos. So one of the paradoxes the biggest paradox of all of halacha is the paraduma. Because when you burnt the paraduma and you mix the ashes with water, you created mechatis, which was sprinkled over somebody who was tamei, and it made him tahor. Yet the mechatas, when it comes into contact with anything else, makes it tamei. So how could something that is metaher make something tamei? It's against logic. If it's metaher something, the same item is metame other things. So even Shlomo Melech couldn't figure that one out. So let's say a cow drank this mechatas, and then it was shechted very quickly, so that there was still water. That water remained in the stomach. So that meat, the stomach meat, the psarotame. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, batlu b'meyeha, that the water became bottled in the stomach, and it's not roi for mechatis anymore, and therefore it doesn't have the name mechatis. Remember, we said yesterday that Rabbi Yehuda changed his mind. Did he only change his mind regarding the ability of beverages to metame kelim, but retained mashkin's ability to metame oichel? Why would we say amai batlu b'mei legamri? Why does he have to come on to that it was nullified in the stomach? Fine. It's not going to be metame a high level of tumah, but tumah kalami and itmu. But at least a rabbinic tumah, it'll become tameh. So in fact, the Gemara says, "My batlu b'mei nami batlu b'tumah chamura, but tumah kalam etamu." And a chanami, it doesn't give a stringent tumah, but a minimal tumah it gives, which means that the mechatis will be metame the boss, or even a tumah chamura. Hab sarotomik tani. It says that the meat does become tummy. So what? So really, Kula Rabbi Yehudi. It's not a Tanakh and Rabbi Yehudi. The whole thing is Rabbi Yehuda. And there's some words missing, and this is how you have to understand the case. A part that drank mechatis psar tamei. The meat, after you shechted it, will be tamei. But that Ramamorim tumah kala, only a weak tumah. But tumah chamura lo. Rabbi Yehuda Omer batlu b'meyeha. There was nullification that occurred. Rashi Omar loyla batlu b'meyeha legamri. It was complete nullification, because this is not this is with full of enzymes. Nobody's going to use this. It's like a rotten mashke, and therefore that's not mitame at all. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon Oimrim la oichlin tmein, liquids that have become tamei can make other foods tamei, but not kalim. La kalim tohan. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Amra. Rabbi Yossi is learning like his teacher, Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva had 24,000 Talmidim. They all died. And he went, and Rashi says, Shabbat, Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Hussein, Shabbatom, and he gave smicha to 5 students. And all of the Torah Shabbat Peh that we have come from those 5 students. Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yosi, Rabbi Lozer ben Shamua. Rabbi Yosi b'shitros Yaakov Amar, the Darash Yitma, from the word Yitma, because it says, when it says that this will be Yitma, we read it Yitame. Not only can it become Tame, but it can be Matame further on. This now, Bo Bayom, Darash Rabbi Kiva. On that day, Rabbi Kiva Darshan. Now, throughout Shas, when it says Bo Bayom, that day is the day that they deposed Rabbi Gamliel, and they put Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah as the Nasi. Because on that day there was a lot of excitement. They let people into the base medrash that they didn't let before. So Bo Bayom Darash Rabbi Kiva V'chol Kli Cheres Asher Yipol Mehem. Let's say you have a earthenware kli that a sheretz fell inside. Eina Omer Tomei Ela Yitma. It doesn't say it becomes Tomei, it becomes Yitma. Yitame Achem, teaching me that if fluids that were inside this earthenware vessel became Tomei through a sheretz, it has the ability of a Tomei Oichel as well. Limit al Kikar Sheni shows a Shlishi B'chulun. Rabbi Kiva says that even a sheni loaf can make a shlishi, even when it comes to chulun. We don't paskin that way. We say that only truma can go down to a shlishi. How does the darshan here? Any liquid that you're going to drink in a kli will yitma, yitame, will also have the ability to matame further. And the Gemara assumes it means only latame tumas oichlin. It can be matame food, but not kelim. Maybe it cannot be matame oichel. Maybe it can only be matame other liquid. Amrit lo kachaya. No, that's not the way it was. So the Gemara asks, "My lo kachaya." What does that mean? Rav Papa, lo matzinu tuma she'oisek yotzeba. We don't find tuma making itself. It means fluids can make ochel tuma, but fluids cannot make other fluids. Ravina amar migufa de kronani lo matasamet yitma. From the pasuk itself, we would say that we don't need to say this yitma din. And what does it come to say? L'tamik tumas mashkin. That in a chanami, it doesn't. The tomatic liquids don't convey tumah to food; they convey tumah to other liquids. The sagadaitach yitma the sefer l'tamik tumas mashkin. Yitma the reishanami l'tamik tumas mashkin. What, they're both going to be involved in tumas mashkin. Yervinav and Estinavu. You could have written the pasuk as one kind of thing. Mikola ochel asher yachel asher yavol av mayim v'chol mashke asher yitzatzer v'chol kli yitma. But we wrote yitma twice. Trey yitma lamali. Ele yitma dereisha is latame tumas mashkin. This extra yitma comes to mitame other things comes that liquids can be mitame fluids. Yitma the same for latame tumas oichlin. Maybe you'll extend it to kalim as well. The ema latame sakelim. And I'll say a kal v'chomer, v'lav kal v'chomer hu. Uma kli shematame mashke, a kli can be matame liquids, a matame kli yet. A kli cannot be matame another kli. Mashkin aboy machmas kli. Fluids that become tummy through a kli. Eino din shlo yitamos akelim. And just like a kli cannot be make directly be matame another kli. Fluids that became tummy through a kli certainly would not have that ability. The Gemara says maybe not. Ema kilo mitamu When do we say that liquids cannot be metame kalim? Mashkim aboy machmas kli. That's liquids that became tummy through a tummy kli. What about mashkim aboy machmas sheretz? What if the liquid had become tummy because the sheretz landed on it? Are you going to tell me Ochanami the metamu that based on that kind of liquid should be metame kalim? So the Gemara says no, because mashkim abo machmas sheretz miksivit. That's not never written in the Torah. Liquids being metame from kalim are written, but there's no psukim that talks about a sheretz being metame the liquids. So the Gemara wants to know v'lav mikava chomer ka'asi. Maybe we can learn from a kava chomer. Uma mashkin aboy machmas kli. Liquids that became tame because a tame kli touched them. Metamin have the ability to metame oichel and liquids. So maybe mashkin aboy machmas sheretz. So fluids that became tame through a sheretz, maybe lokol shekain, also should be metame. However, dayo lova menadilios but kinidin. When you have a kava chomer, you can't go beyond the original din. The original din, it's not metame kli. So what you derive by the kava chomer is also not metame kli. Only ochel and mashkin. So yitma the reisha echidarish. How did you darshan the yitma of the reisha? Mikola ochel asher yachel. All foods asher yavol of my yitma. That water was maksher them to makabel tuma. Yitame will have the ability to metame mashkin. Ata omer l'tamis mashkin. This is only make tuma fluids. Omer l'tamis akli. Maybe it'll also be metame kli. Amir kava chomer. I'll say kava chomer. Uma mashkin shemetame oichel. Tummy fluids can be metame oichel. Yet, ain't a metame kli. Fluids cannot be metame kli. Oichel. She'ain metame oichel. Food cannot be metame oichel. Ain't no din shlo yitma kli. So clearly food cannot be metame kli either. So what are we mekayim? Amani mekayim with yitma. L'tame esamashkin she'nalulun kabel tuma. To contaminate with tuma fluids that are prone to the makabel tuma. So in my area, mashkin mishum dalun makabel tuma. What kind of mashkin it is? Typically, mishum deleka midachrina. I mean, there is nothing else to be metame. So this is what you have to understand. Maybe food would be more stringent. The metame mashkin nitmilikli. Its tumah is so strong that it can be metame fluids. So maybe we'll think that nitmilikli will be metame kli as well. That's only a chomer de mashkin, but not ochel. Then we mentioned mishum de mashkin alun kabel tuma. Mashkin are very prone to kabel tuma. Mahi alilos. What is their proneness? There's a very important proneness. Shemekablin tuma shelo behechsher. Dry food, if a sheretz lands on it, does not become tummy. The dry food needs to be moistened with 7 of the primary liquids in order to be makabel tuma. Fluid by itself is ready to go. Doesn't need hefsher. And then it says yitma de'eno es a kiyotzibo. However, fluids cannot be metame other fluids. For example, mehacha nafka. We don't learn it from yitma. Mehacha nafka v'chiyutan ma'im al zera v'nafal menivlasam alav. If water fell on a seed and then the veil fell on that, tamehu. Who tame? De'eno es a tuma kiyotzibo. That teaches me the din that it cannot sort of be metame something that is like it. Fluid cannot be metame fluid. So the Gemara says, I need 2 limudim to teach me that fluid cannot be metame fluid. Chad b'mashkin aboy machmas sheretz. I had to be told both by a fluid that got its tuma through a sheretz landing in, And one kind of fluid that got its tumor through a kli. And why do I need both? I do need both. If I would only have the din regarding fluids that got tumor through a kli, mishum de lo chamiri, that's already a weakened tumor. Of a mashkin aboy machmas sheretz, the chamiri. If a mashkin got directly contaminated through sheretz, which is chamer, maybe aim also tumor kiyotze. Maybe that type of fluid contaminated by a sheretz would be metame another fluid. Kamash that no. Lishmina mashkin aboy machmas sheretz. The koshkin mashkin aboy machmas kli. Well, if you're going to talk about mashkin aboy machmas sheretz, we certainly would understand mashkin aboy machmas kli. No. Sometimes milsa does become a chomer talk about. Even though, yes, you can construct the kal v'chomer. Even so, sometimes the Torah will write a pasuk, even though it doesn't need it, because they have a kal v'chomer. Amalei Ravina Rav Ashi. The Ha'amar Rav Lo Rabbi Yosi Savak Rabbi Kiva. The Lord Rabbi Kiva Savak Rabbi Yosi. Rabbi Yosi doesn't hold like his Rebbe, and Rabbi Kiva doesn't hold like his Talmud. Amar Lei. Rabbi Yosi, but she does Rabbi Kiva Rabo Amra. That's correct. Rabbi Yosi said the sheik of his Rebbe, but Velelo Svirale, but he doesn't agree to it. So Amalei Rav Ashi Rav Kahana. So Rav Ashi said to Rav Kahana, Bishon Rabbi Yosi Lo Yisrael Rabbi Kiva. I'll show you that I agree that Rabbi Yosi doesn't hold like his Rebbe. The Tanya Rabbi Yosi Minayin LeRaviba Kodeshu Pasul. That the fourth level of kodshim, it can't go down anymore. It's not tummy, it's only pasul. Vidinu. And I'll show you a kal v'chomer. Uma mechutz kippurim. One of the four people that becomes tamei because of an emanation from their body. That's a zav, zava, a metzoras, and a yoledes. Those four people, besides counting 7 clean days, going to the mikveh, and having Erev Shemesh, they need on the 8th day to bring korbanos. So up until they bring the korbanos, they're called the Mechusar Kippurim. Now, a Mechusar Kippurim can eat truma, they just can't eat kodshim. They can only eat kodshim once they bring their korbanos. Uma Mechusar Kippurim shemuter b'truma. Pasul b'kodesh. Cannot eat hegdish, a shlishi, right? Truma food that's shlishi, shepasul b'truma. Eino din shiyaser reviba kodesh. Shlishi is not mutter b'truma. Shlishi is pasul b'truma. So it certainly can make a reviba kodesh. Continues the baraisa. The madlu shlishi b'kodesh min Torah. Shlishi was learned min Torah. Urevi mikal v'chomer. Now, where do we see Shlishi in the Torah? T'chsi, v'hab basar asher yiga. And that we'll learn tomorrow. I'm going to learn these Rashis. These are very fundamental sugyas. It's a small blot tomorrow, so we'll spend some time learning that Rashi. So tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem,